Greetings gamers, welcome to part 21 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 10 Radiant Dawn. And in today's episode I have quite a lot to finish or accomplish in the rest of this chapter. First and foremost, this guy needs to get lost, and he got lost. Certainly did. Would have been nice if I had more vision on this area. Still not enough. Still not enough. Alright, so looking at my strike rank, it is barely got any on it. I'm hoping... Now this guy does have this steel skill. Oh, please don't steal something from Mordecai. That would actually be kind of humorous. Would not be great though. Steel axe. He does not have any type of ranged weapon, so he's not going to even attack Nephany, unfortunately. Steel blade, and here's the boss. So one thing I will absolutely have to do is I'm not only going to have to bring Heather down here to get this wonderful item down here, I'm also going to have to move her up here to steal. That secret book is more money for party number 3. Of course, you do not want to leave any of your flying units in the range of the boss, because even though he does not move, the boss will attack, and he is a wind sage. Okay, so he decided to attack. Nice. I really appreciate that, actually. Perfect. The coin would be cute, but it's not necessary. Alright, go ahead and KO. Good old steel axe. And I missed. Alright, I need to do some damage to this rebel. And then... yeah, it would have been nice had she crit there, but what can you do? Move you out of the way. Okay, I definitely don't want to do that, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. What I can do, though, is I'm definitely going to move you out of the way so that I can finish this guy off with my Steel Great Lance. I'm going to have to move out of the boss's way next turn. He does not move. He does not have any skills to speak of. His mid-level wind magic, Elwind, gets 18 might. It's going to have 18 might in total on any flyer. Don't exactly know why they decided to have a flyer over here, just like waiting in the wings for some reason, but hey, whatever. This guy can reach here. She's actually going to be able to transform next turn, so I'm going to put her here so that she can deal with the opponents in the back. And then I'm going to end my turn.
As I expected, the Queen's house pets are playful little pups indeed. The only thing you're sniffing about will get you, however, is an abruptly shortened lifespan.
He does a pretty significant damage, or amount of damage, I should say. And as long as Mordecai hits here, oh, all right. I was really hoping for a hit there so that Heather could just go here and get the Discipline Scroll. But I'm going to have to transform and attack, and then I'm going to have to get the Discipline Scroll. Afterwards, I can reinforce my rear portion with Mordecai. I'm not going to be in this chapter much longer, but it is going to be, however, much longer that Heather is going to take. Now, with 7 movement, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so what I can do is have a couple of units down here to shove, as well as get ready to move with Leanne. Don't need to heal with her, or I could have healed with the herb on Lucia, actually. That's not a bad idea. And Leith can be the distraction. Yeah, so Legus, you know, I like to say that they're not great, and I don't really care for them in either Path of Radiance or Radiant Dawn, but they're still okay. They're still usable when you have the opportunity to use them, because the problem is the opportunity must show itself. I mean, look at that. Leith transformed that turn, and now she only has 9 gauge left. That does mean she only loses 5 a turn. So I'm guessing she doesn't... Well, she gains 10 a turn, but she loses 5. That's actually pretty cool. She loses... What was that? 4? From a single battle? So... Yep, I can... Could actually use... That's actually a super great idea. Smite. Shove. I'm going to heal up. Vigor. I'm not going to be able to KO the boss this turn, so actually it kind of makes sense to still heal up with the herb. Yeah, that's... Perfect. And steal the secret book. Nice. That's going to be 4,000 gold to party 3. Alright, so Leith is untransformed. Mordecai could go help. I mean, I'm going to move him over there just for the sake of moving him over there, but in all reality, he is not going to be actually helping. Brahm can go over here. You can take that secret book and discipline. I'll take that antitoxin. And...
Well, look what we have here. Lady Lucia and her pack of curs. How interesting. What cause could you have for roaming the grounds at night,
Cause? Why, we've merely lost our way.
Is that so? In that case, I would gladly escort you back to the castle.
That's quite all right. We should be going home. But please do give Lord Ludwig a message. Tell him that his revolt will never succeed.
I did try to warn Lord Ludwig, but it seems that he is quite fond of you. If he knew of your little discovery, I'm certain he would have no qualms about eliminating you. And Gulger away. One more boss bites the dust. My death means nothing. Our plan is perfect. There is nothing the Queen can do.
And a level up for Nephany. She's gotten quite a few level ups. That's actually pretty decent. I mean, she needs strength more than she needs any of the stats that she just received. But hey, you know what? It's all right. This way.
Castle Crimea.
As we suspected, Ludwig is intent on rebellion. His followers are spread across the land inciting insurrection. We have the documents to prove it.
Queen Alencia, I stand ready to defend the realm. I will lead the Royal Knights into Felleray, and we will seize the Duke.
I am hesitant to resort to the sword without at least attempting diplomacy. At all cost, I must stop the people of Crimea from fighting one another.
Your Majesty, news from the countryside. Duke Ludwig has assembled an army and announced his intentions against you. The rebellion in Felleray is growing quickly.
I see. He must have realized that his operations were no longer a secret. Your Majesty, we have no time to waste. We must stand against this for the future of Crimea. I understand. Geoffrey, leader of the Royal Knights, I hereby authorize the use of military force against the rebel army.
Yes, Your Majesty, at once.
I will begin marshalling forces. This rebellion must be stopped before nobles in surrounding areas catch wind of it. Am I doing the right thing? Oh, Father, Uncle Renning. Welcome back, Marcia. Did you learn of Sir Ike's whereabouts? No, I'm sorry. I've got nothing but sore feet and a tired Pegasus. I've talked to a few local villagers who say the rail mercenaries have been working low-paying odd jobs here and there. Nobody seems to know where they are now, but everyone agrees that this is the first time they've been gone for so long. Princess Leanne, please try to keep your spirits high, I assure you. We will continue to investigate Sir Ike's whereabouts. Thank you. Oh, Princess Leanne, you spoke? Quite a shock, yes. My lady has been studying your language, which we often call modern speech. That's wonderful. It's hard enough visiting a strange land, let alone learning the language. Me, not big. No problem. Queen Alencia has trouble heart. I'd forgotten the Huron tribe can peer into the heart. I can't hide the pain I'm feeling. At least not from you, Princess Leanne. Queen Alencia. Why does this happen? My people fight, brother against brother, and no matter what I do, I can't stop it. I'm a miserable failure. I just want to crawl into a cave somewhere. How can anyone believe in me now? I never asked for any of this. I never wanted to be queen. I can't do it anymore. It's too bad her Uncle Renning isn't here.
Saved game and moving forward.
Friction erupts across Crimea. The wounds Crimea suffered during the conflict with Dain have finally begun to heal, and it should be rejoicing in its hard-won peace. How is it that the fires of rebellion have been lit? Bastion, Queen Alencia's most trusted advisor, widely acknowledged for his political savvy, is on a mission to Dain. And the Grail mercenaries, the original authors of Crimea's recovery, are nowhere to be found. Queen Elincia, close to despair, has nonetheless ordered the Crimean Royal Knights to restore order in Felirae. Her only wish is to win the coming battle so that she may stave off a civil war.
Chapter 3, Geoffrey's Charge. Alright, so I have a lot of info to go through. Khalil's shop.
Come on in.
May I?
Well, speak of the devil, if it isn't General Joffrey himself. I wouldn't have expected a visit since you're leaving tomorrow. Hi, General Joffrey. What can we do for you today?
Sorry, Amy, but I'm not here as a customer.
Huh? Oh, I see why you're here. It's about time, too. I'm ready to string the blathering drunkard up by his heels.
Ta-da! Whoops! Who put that chair there? I could have been killed. Lady Khalil, you beckoned? Makalov, why are you drinking? You realize that tomorrow we have a battle to fight, yes? Greetings, General. My, you're looking even more dashing and handsome than usual, Your Excellency.
Good grief, that man's an embarrassment. Are you sure he's a royal knight? He's like a pig pretending to fly. Why not put a dog in armor and call it Sir? Miss Khalil, that's not very nice. I think Sir Makalov deserves a little more respect than that.
Are you blind, Astrid?
It's the night before a mission, and that fool is stinking drunk. Probably gambled all his money away, too. And you follow him around, mooning over him, and cleaning up his messes. Do you have no pride, girl? What the man needs is someone to slap some sense into him. Perhaps I should. I've chosen to look after Sir Makalov. Nobody's forced me to do it, and it's really none of your business. You know, I'm really starting to wonder about your good upbringing. Of all the men out there, what possessed you to place your bets on such a shabby prospect? What did you say? There are no gentlemen in this land half as fine as Sir Makalov.
Oh my. All right, settle down, everybody. Keep this up and the General's gonna pretend he doesn't know either of you.
Fine. I'm sorry, all right? Happy? So, what was it that you needed with that ale-soaked oaf, anyway?
I just wanted to go over our battle plan one last time before retiring. I heard you're going after the Duke of Felirae. You think you can handle him? Of course. However, he's been marshalling his forces for quite some time now, which means our preparations will have to be flawless if we want to end this quickly. If only I were up to it. You know me. I'd crush him. I'd kick him apart.
I suppose I could go. Somewhat of my wisdom and power is easily worth 2 of you clods.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Lamb Blossom. Like I always say, the best enemies are the ones that are on fire. I'm sorry, but no. Although I do appreciate the enthusiasm.
I don't see the problem. Do you think I've gone soft? My magic is still in tip-top shape, I'll have you know.
No, it's just that I'm sure Queen Elincia wouldn't be pleased with civilians fighting against their countrymen.
I suppose you have a point.
In that case, let Danved join you. Danved is not a citizen of Crimea. Danved will fight like 10 men.
Dan. When did you get here?
Actually, General, this is not Devdan. This is a friend of mine, Danved. Yes, it's true. People often make that mistake, but Danved is definitely not Devdan.
Uh-huh. You look actually exactly like him.
Doesn't he? Amazing, isn't it? Anyway, you can take him with you. Oh, and no pressure, but the fate of our country depends on the Royal Knights. Good luck, don't blow it. Danved will fight like a bear, like a tiger. We don't need Largo and Khalil, because Danved is pretty amazing.
I understand, I think. Thank you for your help. Well, I suppose that's settled. It's time for you to discuss tomorrow's tactics. Good luck with that. As for that useless drunk, I'll have someone carry him over later.
Thank you.
Sir Makalov is not useless. How many times do I have to say it?
Astrid, it's about time you go back as well.
Yes, General. Forgive me. I'll hurry back as soon as Sir Makalov is feeling better.
Give me strength. The sooner the better.
Useless.
Your Majesty, what are you doing with that lance?
I asked your servant for it, and he gave it to me.
Why would your Majesty, as Queen, do such a thing? Who knows how tangled the web of rumors could become because of that?
Let the court say what it wishes. You are far more important to me than the whisperers of nattering nobles.
You don't need to say that.
Jeffrey, I'm sorry.
I don't understand what's wrong.
3 years ago, you fought to free Crimea from the clutches of Dan. While you held this lance, your courage was dauntless, and your prowess legendary.
Yes. It's a brave lance, and I'm very proud of it.
I can't have you raise the same lance against your fellow people of Crimea. I'm sorry, I just can't.
Your Majesty, I is worried about the shadow it would cast over my name, the dishonor of using that weapon on Crimeans.
I would never want to damage your pride as a knight. It would be too much to bear.
Believe no such thing, Your Majesty. My pride as a knight is most deeply rooted in my service to you. That will never waver, no matter what. Alencia, you know that.
Then take your lance. Use it to fight for Crimea once again.
You got a brave lance. Nice. And then Kyran. Forgive my tardiness, sir. Kyran, second in command of the Royal Knights, at your service. Sorry to have you disturb your rest. Not at all. If it were your will, General, I would hasten to the very edge of the world at your calling. Kyran, I'm lucky to have such a devoted follower. This is no reward, but there's something I want you to have. A silver axe? This. It's so sharp. Do you mean I can have it?
Do you like it?
Like it? My heart is ready to burst. I feel it's like it's my birthday, and I just got my first suit of armor.
Wonderful. I'm glad to hear it.
It will look fabulous on the mantle. My family will enjoy it for years to come. I can't tell you how grateful I am.
Kyran, that's an axe, not a painting.
Paintings are for mantles. Axes are for fighting. I want you to use that axe. What? I couldn't. You can't refuse. It's an order. Understood, sir. I promise to keep it well protected and free from scratches.
You're hopeless. That's such a cool little conversation. Support do have manage, but can't remove skills, and that is so that you can't mess with any of your units' preferential skills at this time. The game doesn't want you to. There are quite a lot of really good items in here that I'm going to be looking at getting. I kind of strongly suggest that you get at least the Horse Slayer, at the very least. Everything else, I'd say, is worth it as well, to some degree. I'm probably going to be getting everything else except for the Steel Longbow, being honest. And then I have a smattering of new units. Yes, 6 to be, 6 to be in fact. First and foremost is the most powerful of these units, and probably the best member of your team at this moment. I say probably, but I think that's an understatement. Jeffrey, the Lance Paladin. He has incredible bases near max resistance, speed, skill, strength, very good HP, very good stats all around. And he now has his trusty Brave Lance, a rare lance that allows its wielder to attack twice in a single turn. Now, Jeffrey has 60% HP, 50% strength, 10% magic, 60% skill, 35% speed, 30% luck, 30% defense, and 55% resistance. Jeffrey and most of the Royal Knights in this part have very, very few instances of use. Very few. There's maybe a couple of parts in a couple of chapters in part 3. There's one more chapter after this that they're capable in part 2, but only if you wait till turn 100 billion in order to use them. I might do so because there is actually an item where they would enter in that you're not really getting with anybody else. Not sure if I'm wanting to waste the turns for that item yet, though. I haven't decided. Now, he has an A rank in lances, and he comes with the preferential skill, Paragon, doubles experience points gained. This is actually super useful and important on this character, specifically because you don't have him very often. He's great all around when you have access to him. I strongly recommend early promoting him the moment you can. Strongly recommend, because you're not gaining much of anything from the rest of his levels anyway. And then we have Kyran. He is the second in command of this Paladin army. He is an Axe Paladin, and a very good one, much improved compared to what he was in the previous game, with 75% HP, 60% strength, 15% magic, 40% skill, 30% speed and luck, growths, 60% defense, and 25% resistance. This man is basically an armor knight on a horse. Steel pole axes. We haven't really seen any of the pole axe weapons in this game, but this game decided to go a little bit differently with the way that it tiers its weapons, and I actually like this. This is very much so akin to Thracia in its ways of making new and more useful or more interesting weapons. Now, pole axes are incredibly heavy, as you see here, but they lost their triple effectiveness against horses like they had in the previous game, because in Path of Radiance, they were literally just a triple effectiveness weapon that was good against, horseback riders. However, what they are in this game is just improved upon axes. So blades are improved upon swords, and then great lances are improved upon lances, and they all have their own sets. Now, the improved upon weapons do not have bronze, but they do have iron, steel, silver, just like the regular. And this is only a steel. The silver axe actually has less might than the steel pole axe, but it does have more hit and less weight. Now, he's not affected by the weight in this matter, so it doesn't matter. He has A rank in axes, and of course his gamble skill reduces the unit's chance to hit by half, but doubles the critical hit percentage. This is great, especially because I'm going to be nabbing that killer axe for him. Then I have Astrid, a bow paladin, level 2. She is also much improved compared to her sighting in Path of Radiance, but there is a serious problem with her, and that serious problem happens to be that her bases are woefully inept compared to all the rest of your units at this point in the game in this party. And she's like this because she's supposed to be a growth unit who has awesome growths, and in turn also the Paragon skill, which doubles experience points gained. She does come with a B rank in bows, and she has good growths, which are 55% HP, 40% strength, 20% magic, 45% skill, 40% speed, 70% luck, 30% defense, and 50% resistance. Pretty lofty on that resistance growth. She's good for chip damage, not a whole lot else, being honest. And then the old drunkard himself, coming with his very own coin. Treasure you can sell for 1 gold. You could use it at the forge in your base. Who would sell this? I don't understand. Like, I never even sold them in Path of Radiance either. Before you knew that they transferred over to Radiant Dawn. Yes, that's true. Your coins all transfer from Path of Radiance to Radiant Dawn, so you can use them in the forges in Radiant Dawn. Another interesting thing about transfers is that your characters from the previous game, any stats that he would cap, so like let's say I trained Makalov and capped his strength, he would get a 2+ to his strength on transfer, so he would have a base of 20 here instead of 18. It's 4 HP if you have capped HP in that game and you transfer it over to this game. I did not bother with transfers, and I do not ever bother with transfers, though I could do it if I really wanted to. I don't bother with it because it's not needed, even remotely. Even on the hardest difficulty, it's just not needed. Granted, if you could get transfers for the Dawn Brigade, I would be doing that every single time, because those units need it. Everybody else in this game, not so. Now, he has growth rates of 55% HP, 40% strength, 15% magic, 40% skill, 75% speed, 45% luck. You'd think he'd be a bit luckier, right? 50% defense, and 25% resistance. He is a good unit, being a blade paladin, but not a great unit. One thing that he has a lot more than most of your units in this party is a lot of avoid. a crazy amount more. In fact, some of them do share the amount of avoid he does, but because he wields lighter weapons and so on and so forth, it's kind of easier to get away with some of that stuff with him. A rank in sword, and no proficient or no preferential or personal skills. I should say personal, not preferential. Of course, we've already spoken about Marcia. She rejoins your party in the Royal Knights group. And then finally, I have Danved. Danved is going to be a unit whom I use permanently, so I'm going to be giving him as much favoritism as possible. Though I will say this, due to my strategy in this current and upcoming chapter that I'm going to be taking place in, I don't really use him. I am going to be using him for pretty much late game, but I don't really use him personally. Now, he has an S rank in lances, and of course he comes with critical +5. He doesn't have any personal skills, but he does come with a beautiful killer lance. Always gotta love when you see that, right? And some pretty good bases. I would say all in all, he's better as a starting halberdier than Nephany, though I think she has better potential in some aspects. Now, Danved has 75% HP, 40% strength, 20% magic, 30% skill, 45% speed, 60% luck, 45% defense, and 25% resistance growths. He is not as resistive as Nephany, which is a bad thing, but he is still a cool and good unit, and one in which I do enjoy using. However, with all that being said, and all 5 of these new units spoken of, because yes, this part just likes throwing a ton of new units at you. Luckily, this is pretty well the last time we get a ton of new units thrown at us. I'm going to have to bid you all a farewell and leave off this episode. I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe depending on your platform. And while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.